Good morning everyone. Myself Shivam and I am teaching you Python. Today is our fifth lecture of basics of Python from basics. So basically today we are going to cover what is recursion as we have read function in our previous video in lecture 4. In lecture 4 we will remember that we have studied functions and in other previous lecture we have also studied for loop, while loop in Python, and what is iterative if else condition. So we will remember shortly that what is function. So basically function is a block of reusable code that are written to reduce the line of code in a program. So why I am revising the lecture 4? Because it is very important to know that what is function before knowing that what is recursion, just to remember a little bit. So what are the syntax of the function? So this basic syntax of the function was, first we will write def keyword, then we will write function name, and then we will write the parameters, and then our body. So without wasting our time, let us start from recursion. So what is recursion? As here it is, a function is called recursive if a statement of the body of the function call the same function. This is known as self-reference or self-reference. By reading this line you may get confused, but I will simply tell you that what is recursion. When a function call itself again and again, like there is a function named sum and it is calling it again and again, like factorial you can take example, Fibonacci series you can take example. Like in factorial, first it will calculate the factorial of 1, then it will calculate the factorial of 2, then it will calculate the factorial of 3, like that. When a function repeatedly call itself again and again, so it is called recursion or circular definition or self-reference. So there is a distinct difference between a normal and recursive function. So what are the difference between normal functions and recursive function? Normal function are those functions which we have read in previous lecture. So is evoked by another function. A normal function is called by another function, but a recursive function is called by itself directly or indirectly with as long as the given condition is satisfied. But when the condition became false, so it will stop automatically. So this is the major difference. The normal function will be called by another, but a recursive function is called by itself again and again till the base criteria is matched. So every recursive function must satisfy the following two criteria. For a recursive function, it should follow the two criteria. The base criteria means it should have base condition where it has to stop, because if there is no base condition it will go till infinite and the loop crashes. So there should be a base criteria that if there we are calculating a factorial of a number, so it should have base criteria that on 0 it will stop as 0 factorial is 1. So this type of base criteria you should always give. If you do not give, so it will go till infinite, which is not a good sign of a programmer. Next is recursive step. It is called a well defined recursive function if the recursive call progress in such a way that each time a recursive call is met it come closer. Basically what does it mean? Recursive step mean when you call someone, so it will come near to you, then you will call it again, then it will come near to you, then you will call it again. So basically this is recursive steps. When you call a function it will come closer to base condition or the condition where it has to stop, because if it will not come closer, so it will not stop, so it will again be an infinite loop. So when we make a recursive function, we should know that it should come closer to base criteria again and again. A recursive function that satisfies the above two property is called well-defined recursive function. The function which will satisfy these two conditions, this base criteria and the recursive step, is known as well recursive function. So now you understand the theory about recursive function. Now we will study about the syntax of this and will do some examples regarding the recursive function. So recursive function are of two types: direct recursion and indirect recursion. So what is direct recursion? When a function directly call itself, like we have defined one function, define function this, and then we have written one condition if, then we have written condition, then we have called this function directly. So this is called direct recursion, when a function call itself directly. Then there is indirect recursion, or it is also called circular recursion. Two or more functions call each other in a circular manner. This recursion is initiated indirectly, like we have defined one function, function 1, if condition, then it will call this function 2. Then after we have defined function 2 and if condition, it will call the function 3, and then we have defined the function number 3, and if the condition 2, it will call, like the function 1 will call function 2, function 2 will call the function 3, function 3 will again call the function 1. So it will move in a circular path, like 2 will call 3, 3 will call 1, 1 will call 2. So this is called circular recursion or indirect recursion. But in direct recursion, there is only one function which itself call it directly. So these are the important point when using a recursion. These are also mentioned below. So the first important point is self calling is mandatory. A function must call itself or is called indirectly for recursion, because if it does not call, it will be a simple function, but when it will call function again and again, then it is only the recursive function. Then the next point is user defined only. Recursion apply to user defined function, not library functions. What are library functions? Now you will maybe you don't know, some of you will know what are library functions. So basically library functions are those functions which are predefined in Python. Like I have told you about math library, when you import the math library, some functions will come directly with the math library, so you need not to, but the recursion will apply to only those functions which are defined by user, like we made a function by using def keyword. So this is a important point to be noted. You cannot use a function on the library function. Then base condition is necessary, as I have told you that without base condition it will go till infinite. So base condition is necessary, a return statement to exit, and we should give a return statement also, because after return statement it will directly go back to the function, then our function will end there. Memory is allocated separately. What does it mean? Is equals you call get its memory for local variable on a call stack. There is memory name stack where all the data is stored. So when we allocate the memory separately, so there will be no error in the code. Stack execution order. Recursive calls are stored in the code stack and are resolved in the last in first out order. Like the last step will be executed first, like in the factorial of 5, first it will go to 5, then it will minus 1, then it will go to 4, then it will minus 1, it will go to 3. So this is last in first out, so it will evaluate it till 1. So this is stack overflow risk. Deep recursion, like many lines of recursion, and I have told you infinite number of call may lead to stack overflow, means it will fill the memory name stack and it will get a overflow. So this is the important point to be noted. And now we will read about what are the advantages of using the recursion. So first advantage is readable and maintainable. Recursive function can be easily read and maintained as there are lesser number of lines. Second is compact code. It will crack the code in easier way. It will not give us complex code. So what are the problems that are best suited and which can be easily solved by the recursion? So these are the 5 problem which can be easily solved. First is factorial calculation, second is Fibonacci series, third is green graph transversal, fourth is Tower of Hanoi, and fifth is quick sort merge sort. So basically what factorial calculation means, the factorial of 5 is 120, factorial of 4 is 24. And what is Fibonacci series generation? Fibonacci series generation is like the sum of first two digit is the next digit, like it will start from 1, then it will again 1, then 2, then 3, then 5, then 8, like the sum of first two digit will the next digit. So we will all discuss about this in further lectures in the way what are graph transversal, what are Tower of Hanoi. So now we will write a simple program using recursion and we will find the factorial of a number. So the following program is intended to calculate the factorial of a number using recursive function. As I have told you that we will find the factorial of a number using recursion. So basically some of the lines of code are given to us, which are these in highlighted. So we have to complete the task, and if here is that if there is user give us negative number, we have to write factorial not exist for negative number, and this is the question. So what we have to start our recursion. So how we will solve this? Firstly, you can solve it by two ways. You can directly import the math library as I have done here, and you can also solve it by recursion, like this is the recursion. So first do not take that this is important, because if you want to import you can import, otherwise not. First we will define a function name recurfact as it is given here. Complete the body of the recurfact function. So you can give any name of your choice, then we will pass an argument n for which we have to find the factorial. Then we will write if n is equal to 1 or n is equal to 0, we have to return 1, because this is the base condition, which I have told you that base condition very necessary. Till then it will reaches to 1 and 0, it will continue, but when it reaches to 0 and 1 it will return 1, because we know that factorial of 1 and 0 is 1. Else, so if you want to do it by like import math function, you can directly write this code which I have commented, math.factorial, and then in bracket now, so it will directly do the factorial of the number. So you need not to write this statement also. But if you want to do it by recursion, first we will write that base condition, then in else we have to return n multiply by recurfact n minus 1. So what is the meaning of this? So basically this n is the number which we have to calculate, like 5 factorial, then it will be multiplied to recurfact, it will go to this function, and n minus 1, first it will n minus 1, if the n is 5 it will minus it by 1, it will come to 4, so 5 will be multiplied to 4, then it will see that it is not matched to base condition, because 4 is not equal to 1 or 0, then it will again minus it by 1, 4 will minus by 1, then it will become 3, then it will multiply 5 multiply 4 multiply 3, then also it go to this base condition, it will see that 3 is not equal to 1, then it will again minus, it will become 2, till then the base condition measure, when it will become 1 it will return 1, so it will become 5 multiply 4 multiply 3 multiply 2 multiply by 1, which is 120. So then we will take a num as input, because we need the number for which we have to find the factorial. Then in question it is written that if the number is negative, we have to write this factorial not exist for negative number. So first we will take input, then we write if the num is less than 0, which are negative number, so we will print factorial not exist for negative number, else we will print the factorial by calling the function recurfact and passing the argument as num. So this is the code for recursion and to find the factorial of a number. So next we will understand the mathematical functions. So these are some mathematical functions which are included in math library. So for all these we first need to import the math library. So our first function is math dot ceil and in bracket the number. So basically what is ceil function? It will return the smallest integer, and math dot floor return the largest integer. Like if you will write that math dot ceil and in bracket 4.5, it will return 4, and if you write math dot floor 4.5, it will return 5. So floor will return the largest integer and ceil will return the smallest integer. Then math dot gcd a comma b. So what is gcd? Greatest common divisor. Like we have also done a question of this in previous lectures. So this is also a math function. Then math dot factorial. As I have told you, you can find the factorial by with for loop also, while loop also, by recursion also, and the very simplest way to find the factorial of any number is directly import the math library and write this math dot factorial and the number which factorial you want to find. Then math dot trunc x, it will truncate x to its integer part, it will remove the dot part. In Python, math dot factorial is only defined for non-negative integer. As I told you that factorial only exists for positive integer in Python. If you pass any negative number to this function, it will raise an error in Python. Then there are some power and logarithmic function like math.exp. It will raise to power like a math.exp2, so it will raise to power 2. Then math.log in curl bracket x, then square bracket the base form and the base, it will return to the log of x. Like log 10 value is like log 1 value 0, log 10 value 1. Then math dot pow and in bracket x comma y, so it will return x raised to power y, and this will be always float. This is the main thing to remember, that it will not give us integer part, it will give us a float part. So just remember that what is the common in all of this? The common is that math and dot part is common. You just need to write these explog pow. Just remember that if you write full name that power, so it will raise an error. Then math dot sqrt square root. So these are some power and logarithmic function. Then there are trigonometric function like sine, cos, tangent. It will return to, it will convert radian into degree and degree into radian if you write these. Then angular conversion is also there. Math dot degree x convert radian to degree, and math dot radian x will convert degree to radian. So how we can remember this? For this we will solve one question. So the question is, let us write a program to integrate a float number if the fractional part is greater than or equal to 0.5, round up if to otherwise remove the fractional part. So first we will import the math library like here. Then we will take a number as a integer input, we will take float as input. Then if the number minus integer of number is greater than or equal to 0.5, we will print the upper of the number, and otherwise we will print the integer part. Like int of num is, if we take any float value like 4.5, so the integer of it will be 4. So 4 minus 4.5 minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0.5, so it will lower the number, because this math dot ceil function will lower. So these are the functions you can use, and how you can use is also sorry. So our next function is understanding random module. So as the name suggests, random means some random values. Like Python provide many random number functions to to use random function we need to import random module. Some of them are, so as we import math module, we also need to import random module to use these functions. First is choice. In it, return a random element from non-empty sequence. If the sequence is empty, interpret raise an index error. Like this is an example. First we will import a random module, then we will give any sequence, then we will print random dot choice sequence, so it will return any random value as the name is random. So next is shuffle list. It shuffle a given list, like we shuffle cards while playing, so it will shuffle the list. So you can see random dot shuffle L1, it will shuffle as it. Then rand int a comma b, it will return random integer between a and b inclusive. Like if you have given a is value is 10 and b value is 20, so it will return any random module like 2 comma 5, and it we can also give 10 and 20 because it is include both a and b, it is, these both are inclusive. Then seed a is equal to none, set a starting point for random numbers. These are the basic functions. So next is random. It is used to generate pseudo random floating point number in a range 0.0 to 1.0. Like if you write print random dot random, it will give any random value between 0 to 1 in floating value. So these are the function used with random module. So next one is rand range, start, stop and step. As we also studied in lecture 2, like for I in range, then we will give starting point, stop point and the number of steps it will take. So this function return random values, like print random dot rand range 2 comma 10, it will give 5 because 2 is the starting point and 10 is the stopping value. So these are the examples. So the next is trigonometric function. Python provides many trigonometric function to perform trigonometric operation. For all these we need to include import our math module. So first is sine. It will return sine of a given value in radians, like sine 90 in radian is 0.893996663. But in this we can also like convert from radian to degree. So next is cos. So math dot cos 90, it will result to this. Then tangent, so it will convert the degree to radian and radian to degree, but for this we need to write import math. Then degree used to convert the radian, as I have told you. So for this we can solve one question. So here it is that write a program that find the trigonometric value of 0, 30, 45, 60, 90 degrees of sine, cos and tangent. Print the result as shown in the example. So we need to import the math module and convert the degree to radian for sine, cos, tangent, and the output should be this. So this is the solution. First first we will import our math module, then we will print the degree simply, like here it is printed here, and then we will print sine, and then we will convert math dot sine, math dot radian. First it will convert it to radian and then it will convert it to sine. So this is the formula. Like it is very simple. It is looking like complicated because it is congested, but if you solve one by one it is very easy. Like first we will write math dot sine and in bracket math dot radian. First it will be converted to radian, then it will be to sine. Like if a math dot radian 0 value is 0.011, then it will give us the value of sine 0.011. So these all are same. First we will do of sine till 90, 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, then cos 0, 30, 45, 90 and then 10. So you can do like this first importing math module. So this is the output and it is matched. See, 1 out of 1 test case is shown. So our next is understanding mathematical constraint. So what are mathematical constant? Constant are the value that have fixed values, like math pi value is 3.14. So you can also print these are the mathematical constant. So this first value is math dot pi whose value is 3.1415. Then the next constant is math dot e. It's the base of the natural logarithmic and is an important constant in mathematical. It is also known as Euler number. Math dot e is known as Euler number. It can be asked in 1 marks in university, and the value of this is 2.7182818 till infinity it can go, but you can learn like 2.718 3 digit. So how we can write this? We can write that print math dot e and it will result in this. That next is math dot inf. What is inf? Inf is represent positive infinity, like it is up to infinity. It does not have any meaning. It is up to infinity, you can say, where which have no end. Then math dot nan is a special floating point value which is known as nan and which stand for not a number, is typically used to represent undefined or unrepresentable value in mathematical operation. So it basically not a number which is other than a number. Next is math dot tau, represent mathematical constant tau, which you have read in physics in 11th or 12th class, which is equal to 2 pi. Like pi value is 3.14 and this value is 6.28. So these are some mathematical constant. Now here it is one question that program to print value of mathematical constant. How we can print the value of these? So first we will import the math module, then we will print math dot pi and the type of the pi, then we will print math dot e and the type of e, then we will print the value of infinity and the type of infinity, and then same as nan. So what is the sample test case? Sample test case is the it will come like value of phi is 3.14 and the data type will be class float. For all these all are floating value. These are not integer or string type. Even if this full form is not a number, still it is a floating value. So this is a special case. So these are some questions. So we will solve one or two question now, like how we can find the perfect roll number. So first we will read the question. In a group of students, everyone has a unique roll number. One day they are willing to find the student who have the perfect roll number. Perfect roll number means 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, like this. So they need your assistant to determine whether the given roll number is perfect or not. Can you assist them by writing a program in Python? First we have to write a Python program to find that the given roll number of the students are a perfect number or not. A perfect number is a number for which the sum of its positive divisor excluding itself is equal to the number itself. So we can find first we will define a function, define is perfect number, and then we will pass a parameter name number. Then we have to find the sums. For this the initial sum will be 0. Then we will write for I in range 1 to number, we will start from 1 and go till the number, and if the number will divided by itself and give the remainder 0, so we will add, because it is a perfect number, we will add it to sum because sum is 0, and if the sum is equal to the number, it will return true, else it will return false. So Maybe you will not understand it by one way. I will explain you another time. First, we have defined a function is perfect number here and pass an argument number. Then we have to find the sum, because the number is a perfect number if the sum of the number is equal to the number itself. So for this, first we will find the sum. So initial sum of any number will be 0. Then we will start from the number 1 until goes to the number. Then if the number will divided by the I and is equal to 0, means it will give the remainder 0 after dividing it by the number. So it will be a perfect number for that, and we will add the sum to I. And then if the sum of this number is equal to the number itself, it will return true. So for this, this is the code, and we will take roll number from input as user, and if is perfect number we will print perfect number, else we will print not a perfect number. So this is the code for the perfect square number. So now we will solve another question. So next question is chocolate distribution. So we will read the question. Complete the Python function which take two integers. So we have to take two integers from the input n and m, representing the number of chocolate and the number of student. Means n will represent the number of chocolate and m will represent the number of student. The function must determine whether the chocolate can be evenly distributed among the student. So we will check if the number of chocolates are greater or the number of students are greater. So for this, if the chocolate can be evenly divided, the function returns 0. Otherwise the function returns the minimum number of extra chocolate needed to make the distribution even. Like if there are 100 chocolate and there are 20 students, so it will be evenly distributed. All students will get 5 chocolates, and the function will return 0. And if there are 90 chocolate and there are 20 students, so it will not be evenly distributed. So we have to find the how many extra chocolate are needed so that every student will get the equal amount of chocolate. So the input formats are as follow. The first line of input is an integer and representing number of chocolate, and the second line is an integer which is number of student. So we will take two input. Input number 1, which is number of chocolate, then input number 2, which are number of student. Then if the number of student are greater than 0, print minimum number of extra chocolate required them, and if the number of student is less than 0, we have to print invalid. So this is the question. So now we will solve this. First we will define a function name order chocolate. You can take any function name, and we will pass to argument n and m, that is basically number of student and number of chocolates. Then if the number of student are greater than 0 and n percentage m is equal to, we will return 0 as it is written here. And else if the number of student are greater than 0, which are always, because if there is some student, then we are solving this question, then we have to return student minus the number of chocolate modulo the student. So this is a basic math. You can solve this by yourself, and if there are the any other possibility, it will else return invalid. So we will take two chocolate and student as input, and then we will print this. So it is here given that if the m is greater than 0, then the function should return 0, and if the m is greater than 0, it will return the minimum number of chocolate. Then minimum number of chocolate will be the total number of student minus the number of chocolate upon the number of student. So this is a basic math you can solve. So we will further move to next question. The next question is, do not go that it is a heavy question, as the question is of very big length. So we will simply understand. You are standing in a queue to buy ticket. So you are buying a ticket for your favorite concert. there are n economy ticket available at a fixed price, and if you are within the first n position in the queue, you will economy ticket at the base cost. So there are n economy ticket, and if you are standing in a queue in the n number of lines, so you will get the ticket as base price. However, if your position is beyond, so if you are standing beyond the nth position, so you have to purchase a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket price is increased by 5 unit per position. Like if you are standing 2 position behind the nth position, so the price will increase by 10. So here is the example. There are 5 economic ticket, you are standing at 7, this, so 5 will be consumed by first member. So for the 6 the cost will increase by 5 buck, and for you it will be increased by 10 from the cost of economy ticket. So we have to write the Python program that prompt the user to enter the number of economy ticket and the cost of the economy ticket as well as the position. So we have to take 3 input. The first line of the input is an integer n that represents the number of economy ticket. The second line will represent the cost of economy, and the third will be the input that represent your position. So first we will take the input like a number of ticket, price of ticket, and your position. Then we will define a function name cost ticket, which will be given 3 parameters: number of ticket, price of ticket, and position. So if your position is less than or equal to the number of ticket, so you have to give the exact price as the base. So you have to return the simply price of the ticket if your position is less than the number of ticket. But if your position is greater than the number of tickets, so for each position it will be increased by 5 units. So we will solve this like else it will return the price of ticket will be add. So the price of ticket will be like if 6 plus your position, like you are standing from 7th position and there are 5 tickets, so 7 minus 5 multiply by 5 because it is increased by 5 unit. So 7 minus 5 multiply by 2 is 10, and plus your price of ticket. So we will take 3 input, then we will define a function cost ticket, pass the 3 parameters, and simply write if the position of your is less than the number of ticket, you will get the ticket as base price. But if you are standing beyond the nth position, so the ticket price will be increased by the 5 buck each position. So the ticket price will be added, but there will be some extra charges like your position minus number of ticket. Like your position is 7 and number of ticket are 5, so 7 minus 5 is 2, and it will multiply by 5 unit, so it will become 10. So now we will print the cost of the ticket. So simply we will write print cost ticket, and then we will then pass these 3 argument. So these are the way you can find the number. So these are not for the cinema hall, these are for your understanding of the functions, how we can call the functions, how you can define the functions. So here our functions topic, and we have read functions, types of functions, recursion, arguments, parameters, keyword arguments, positional argument, default arguments. Then we have read some mathematical function, how to find the factorial, about recursion by using recursion. So these are basically some concepts of function. From the next lecture we will learn about a set, dictionary, tuples in details. In lecture 1 we have read about it in just simply way. So if you have any doubt in any question, you can just comment comment out there if you have any doubt. So this is the PDF. You can take screenshot by pausing the video if you want to read this PDF. I get this PDF through Code Tantra, which is a very good app used in our university for teaching the student. And if you are also a 12th pass student and want to join any university, you can come to LPU University because its infrastructure is very good and the teacher is very in helping in nature and always motivated to build a secure future. You can join LP University. I am also a student of second year in LP University. Thank you. Now our function topic is clear, and you can find this PDF here in video, and you can take screenshot also. And if you want, you can tell me, I can give you in this in comment section also. You can directly download it from here. So thank you and have a